Oye! Trina Christine Mason here. All kinds of different transferences have been occurring. I'm working on updating you as soon as possible so you are completely up to date. However, right now we have some real-time live session occurring for those that wish to step through and spend some time with me and do some energy transfers or live goals, or whichever way they choose to allow this experience to go. However, it's also a co-creation. I do have my harp here with me. She's very out of tune. There's a metaphor there, and part of me also enjoying some of those tunes which are, quote, totally out of tune. Let's see what we have going on. Make sure, like, where's that go? Some of those are totally off. Some of it I don't mind, and some of it's like, Good day, Slayer. Good day. Oye, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. I have the tuner here as well. However, finding the will. Perhaps publicly. Not everyone is so brave to communicate and open themselves up and share a part of themselves, their narratives, their viewpoints, their words, their spellings, their co-creations. I hear you. Isn't that a funny narrative, though? How many times have we felt like we are completely alone, and meanwhile, like, we could be in a room full of people, or we could be alone in, like, a room and we feel like we're alone. And then, of course, there's the extraterrestrial level. I love listening to the wildlife as well. I've been hoping to hear some tokay geckos for a while. Those are one of the best sounds for me. George is like, I don't know how I feel about that note, Ma. I know. I told you, part of me, like, loves those, like, broken heart tone melodies. You're funny. But isn't that funny that symbolism is just representing you wanting that intimacy and that connection with somebody who completely understands you and will become like one with you so you don't feel like you're so alone? Ollie or Oli? You're not choosing it. You're representing that you have a lack. However, you're not choosing to take care of your needs. You're choosing to use a person, place, or thing that is outside of yourself, assuming that that story will bring you something that you don't have. However, that's from, like, it's kind of like looking on the other side of the grass kind of thing, you know, like the grass is greener on the other side. Let me see what I can find here. Ah. You like that. You like to push that agenda. I could include the veganism inside the Agenda 21 aspect if you only knew how contaminated the food was, I don't think you would ever want to eat again. So don't let me teach you anything you don't already know, unless you really, really want to know, because once you know, you can't unknow, right? So there's a lot of that. I personally am not like 100% committed to being vegan, I will confess. Unfortunately, as a child, I was conditioned to these meat processes. And yes, when I find myself feeling weak, my excuse is that I need meat, which obviously comes from the being that eats the most greenery, which I may struggle with due to conditioning of the sensories. I see what's going on. It's why hello there, BB. I see, I see, I see, I see. Okay, okay, okay. You guys, I've been, oh man, like in this process of refinement since like childbirth, like targeted, or however you choose to like give language or identify the experience. And excuse my abrasive language. I kind of, how do I say, like, I can't front. I'm not fronting anymore, you know? And what allows the shades to change is, God, I mean, I love you. I hello there, BB. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Oh, man. This is also part of the shadow work video, like mentioning different colors of the spectrum and different emotionals. You need to understand that, like, essentially we are photons, we are light, okay? And if that's true, then like we feed on energy, right? And so what's the strongest energies? Like it's emotions, right? It's like everyone's like addicted to certain emotions, especially like things like dopamine, right? And we have studied the human mind for so long that yes, you could say major corporations, or you could use finances as an excuse, or you could say Illuminati. Illuminati, it means light. Lucifer, it means light. Light meaning information, photons, right? Physics. George is like being a Katrina hog or whatever. Like, he's just like, he's like, give me the love. Many, I can't like not connect to why hello there, BB, right now, and feel the Arcturian energy. The Arcturian energy are like, it's, you could say Arcturus or starseeds, indigo children, rainbow child, crystal child, moon child. Like every era has like a different painted word for this symbolism, this archetype, or whatever you choose to paint language. It's called toroidal field. Yes, I'll get there. I'm glad that you pointed that. I'm gonna have to point that out in the shadow work video, mentioning about the shadows of like combining sexual organs with one another and the mesh of DNA and microorganisms and all the energetic transferences that's in the light, and yeah, the different shades and the shadows. This is a lot of information that like nobody, like it's that not many people are interested because it's uncomfortable in knowing the information. And how would you paint language to that also? Like it's not really something that's like really enforced for you to like know about. This guy, dude. This is King George. George the Jungle. You dang George. Boy George. This guy, bro. So, yes, I love that you mentioned that. We're supposed to mention the toroidal field, the electromagnetic frequencies of sounds. There's like all these different levels of the spectrum where this Arcturian energy can go. Okay, I apologize. Like, there's a lot of people that are just going to emotionally shut down when they hear this. This Arcturus, Arcturian, Arcturian, Arcturian. They're people that are amazing with blueprints. Like, they can read colors, like they kind of like, that's the way that they communicate through like forms of expression, like drawing. It's all nonverbal, it's hard to explain, and like they just have a natural way of knowing things, and they're kind of like, I call them like professional, what are they called, architects. but like they never went to school for any of that stuff, and still they just automatically have the downloads or the information, the know-how, just naturally comes through their stone in their bone, I also call it, from like your ancestors, or however you choose to understand and unwind your DNA, or however you choose to paint language and the information that you have come to know that is you and your being. Arcturians. Arcturians are excessively targeted with AI because Arcturians are they're light beings, right? And you can think of it as colors or sounds or frequencies. Another way that I like to give you a visual of this is like there's like tons of videos on sound, like where they put a bunch of marbles or crystals or whatever, or beads, or we can see like microorganisms, particles, and then when they permit a certain sound, like it vibrates into a certain Fibonacci pattern, or like a a sacred geometry. Let me attempt to reconnect and also realign. So the shadow of the Arcturians is that Arcturians are targeted, and they're targeted to be kept how do you say, like distracted, or like they use what they're good at against them, like since like they're so fast and they need like constant stimulation with lights and games and controls and super stimmers, right? Like autism, whatever you want to call this. Okay, it's funny, this is autism awareness, Arcturians. Yeah. Okay. Like this goes a lot deeper too, because that, like, there's scientific fact that there has been humans made with mixed DNA, mixed with animal particles, with animal specimen. You might want to backtrace and do that homework. I recently retweeted a lot of these things that like makes it easier. Same thing with the Vatican owning your soul, aka the the soul of the bottom of your footprint. That's why you have to get that, and like that seals on your birth certificate if you're born in the United States, and that's why your name's also in all capitals. There's like a lot of shadow, but I'm also shedding a lot of light on these circumstances that you might just want to look into yourself if you're curious, unless you rather remain ignorant and I don't know, man. You want to just keep going on in this slavery? It's basically slavery. They got slaves over your soul. Like, you have a subconscious contract that says you have to suffer and pay debts and work for money, or like whatever brainwashing you've allowed yourself to become like involved in, and like forgetting what's really valuable, like breath. You're not breathing. You're not definitely not exhaling. You're definitely not running or exercising, right? Like, you don't want to make music. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to do anything about it. You just want to yak about it, or you just want to, like, I don't know. That's kind of like where I'm kind of taken back as like a transmuter or a shadow worker, light worker, however you choose to paint language this. I'm still also learning, so just know that I'm just like at the tip of the iceberg at some of these things, and like you can go ahead and do your homework and maybe teach me some things. There's just select information that I'm given at the time to hold the space. I cannot stress the right use of will enough. If you haven't become aware of these books, I highly, highly, highly recommend. I'm attempting to anchor these data, like, you know, these lessons in, so that I can have them as my own and kind of teach them in that way. However, at the same time, it's been kind of like, I would call it difficult, if I'm being honest, right? And I'm only learning through experience and like trial and error type aspects. The next largest, loudest lesson is compassion. Having to forgive yourself time and time and time and time again. The lesson of Pisces, and God said to the zodiac, I dare you to look that up. Don't look at the David one, look at the life coach one. It's so good. Read the whole article, because you're all of them. You need to earn all of the gifts, and but you got to do all the jobs too. You got to earn those gifts. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Try to slow down. Exactly, right? I know, give you time to process all these things.
Oh man, I can't help but feel still miserable for the Arcturians. You know, like you guys are so stuck. Like you're given all these toys and you're distracted. You're distracted by like recognizing if you didn't have those like stupid tools basically, right? Like these boxes, these electromagnetic boxes or whatever. Like imagine how it would be redesigning the universe itself because like all of our attention would be like focused on like growing plants or like I don't know which ways that you choose to give birth to the planet for it to like stay here when you're not here anymore kind of thing, you know? Things that last for generations that has nothing to do with you bearing children. And like AI, everybody knows like you have to know the shadow of this AI and what they've been planning all along. Like you have to know what you're up against and nobody wants to admit what they're up against. Like Agenda 21 is so in your face. This has nothing to do with America. That's what sucks. It has nothing to do with America. It's like a one world order or yeah, Agenda 2030. I think they changed it to. Like I'm doing my best not to grind my teeth about it, you know? Like it's just like how dare you? How dare you? Yet at the same time like how dumb of us to sign like basically a soul contract, a contract in blood, an unconsciousness that says that my foot, my soul, my imprint, my DNA, my genetics, my all of me serves their army, the Vatican. Like this is I just learned this information and I can't stop being irritated about it because it's like it's kind of like the ear piercing thing, you know, when you pierce a baby's ears. It's kind of just like that. And when people get like that, it's like, what's the difference of piercing a cat's ear? And then people want to get all sensitive about that, but you want to treat humans like they're any different animals. Like that just astounds me in so many levels. I will admit I do attempt my best to eat what's called first light. First light is everything that second light eats, which is like, yeah, meat. Attempting to rewire the nervous system and remove what you could call toxic fibers in the gastrointestine. You know, all the like toxic waste release systems. You gotta flush all that out. And like what's happening is some people just don't stop eating. And when you don't stop eating, like you never let your body process light or anything else. And like some people aren't drinking water, such as myself. Or, yeah, you could mention the addiction to sugar. I can only say that from personal experience. And it's like slavery to this makes me feel good. I want more. Contemplated chin scratch. I love the sounds of the bird. It's like heaven's music to me. I can't help but hear Uncle Frank in my head again. If you were in heaven, would you even know it? Or would you be too blind looking for it to even see? Something like that. I'm so excited to being reconnected with my Juggalo family. I just feel like I'm patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. Oh, bruh. Yeah. A lot of shadow work going on for sure. And for me, it was best to not front the shadow. I found most pleasure in just revealing the truth. I wanted to be honest instead of being secretive. And I felt in my heart that that was the only way that I would ever find true love, is by me admitting to myself who I really am and to the other person. And that was like the only thing that I would ever wish to request of my partner. So that way I can come to my own decision
if I should stay or not, so I really know who I'm with instead of just the person you're pretending to be. And I also don't wish to remain onto you, basically, from an intention of knowing you. Or does that make sense? Of like, I'm trying to say out of hope of who you might be. My greatest desire would be to truly know you, especially the parts of you that you wish nobody knew. I would like for the shadow work to symbolize where, yeah, I think of it as call me a mark or a juggalo of my riddle box. And riddle box is where when we die we face a jack in the box and we crank the rank, or I don't know what it's called, right? The jack in the box. And when it finally pops out pops a spawn of you in your evilest form, when you're forced to like kind of really like confront you. And like, excuse me, I'm like distracted by my shininess from all the like vitamin E oil and castor oil and like essential oils that I can't stop playing with. I can't help but get frustrated. I'm getting frustrated. And I like, call me a dog or insane, whatever you choose. I swear I can hear like a, ee, like that. Like, oh my God. Do you hear? Like, all the birds are like hushed too. I can hear a little bit in the distance. Oh, that stuff hurts me. I'm a dog soul, man. Like, everything that I am is a dog. That's a shadow. I'm supposed to maybe, do I put that in the shadow, or is that like the light part of it? Is this the light work video or something? Like, definitely a dog. I'm super loyal. But like the more that I do my research in my Akashic records, the more I feel like that I'm like kind of telling my soul it's like kind of like the target dog, when really it's like some type of animal that I can't really picture yet, because like my mind is so limited to what it's seen so far or something like that, or because I'm fearful and I'm like closed out and I say that I'm ready but I'm really not ready. I've been using my dreams a lot as exercises, as revealing information to me. And yeah, I've been playing with light so much. If you only knew how much that changes things. Onyx, baby girl, my baby girl. I'm like, we need to fly me to Colorado so I can see snow and hug you and give Jordan acupuncture again. I'm kidding. That's what Trina wants to do. She wants to go to school. Stop it. Don't tease me. No, don't tease me, man. I think that's like my secret soul cry. I want to go to acupuncture school, but everyone tells me no and that it's stupid. But I'm great at it and I love it. And like, I like it. I'm like, let me interview Jordan. How does Jordan feel about this? Like, like he kind of counts as like one of my first real like clients ever. I'm like, I don't even remember working on you. I know Throbbing also counts too. Hey, don't tease me. Stop it. I want to be a doctor. Dr. Mason. Don't tease me. You're like evoking my soul out of what it really wants to do and that I've been in secret of. Yo. Ha. Barf. Yeah, of course. Yo, why do you let me be a jerk? I'm gonna be a jerk and let me point some light on something for you, okay? Yo, this is where they take something that you really, really love and they use it against you. Okay? Such as sex, right? Music. They use all these things that they know for generations that like humans can't help, and like certain things, subconscious, subliminal programming, what's that? Neurolinguistics, all that stuff. So, dude, like, I'm like, how do we PC talk about this, right? Like, how is this like the safe word? I could say cannabis. Cannabis. How about cannabis?
Cannabis, legal marijuana. Okay, what do you think that they're doing to the specimens? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Why do you think that suddenly after America, yeah, I know that America, our number 3 source of income is our healthcare system, right? And then some other light to shed that when they make marijuana medical, suddenly it's now a felony instead of a misdemeanor because now it's having, like, I guess a prescription without a prescription, like all that. Okay? And there's another shadow of like the additives, excuse me, the additives that they're putting inside there, as well as the potency increasing. Okay, so like they're and like, what do you think that they know what is doing to the frontal cortex and all this stuff? Why do you think that they're suddenly messing with the alchemy of this and like giving people exactly what they think they want, like the devil, the confusion, the chaos, the disharmony, right? You probably shouldn't be smoking. You should probably like be breathing the normal air. However, unfortunately, they're poisoning the air too, right? Like there's chemicals everywhere in the water. Like the earth is not normal anymore, and Mother Earth is like pissed off and miserable, and like I can't help but be like that Pachamama angry warrior. I have a lot of other videos that are about to be coming that cover some of this, and I'd like to go deeper if someone would like provoke me, but like I apologize, I'm kind of just like excessively triggered. I probably should have put up hashtag actually autistic. Sarah, do that for me. Tweet it and be like hashtag actually autistic. Kidding, kind of not kidding, but up to you. I would retweet you. Man, I gotta admit, I like you have so many different faces to me. Okay, like Nympho Sweetie, Sarah. So many, so many, so many. Oh, wait. I thought I had one more. I thought I just had one more. Mer. Spiritual manipulatrix, spiritual manipulatrix, spiritual manipulatrix. I am like the one and the only, and like I'm a soul cleaner. I clean souls. I am a doctor of souls. Okay, like I am really like the love doctor. I am a dog soul. I have so much love and light to share, and like nobody understands, and I'm just like so out of this world. I freak people out, or they want to kill me, or both. So it's just like okay. I hear this joke, right? It's kind of an awful joke because it pushes the agenda of like not bringing us all together, and kind of instead like making us hate each other and the divide and conquer. Like I like always like to talk smack. Like, why do you think the world is divided into 4 parts, and that each 4 part of the universe has a different religion or a different story, different part of the section, and that we've been segregated, and that there's different people of controlling each thing that has the same idea? Why do you think we're all being shown all the same TV shows, the same television? Why do you think we all have the same stuff? I know that makes you want to wet your pants. I feel you. Me too. And so following, I'm supposed to remind you about music, and I learned this music thing when I was at the Hard Rock, and I have some cool GoPro videos coming, although just know that like there's music in them being played, so they're probably not going to be really valued or appreciated because they won't be monetizable or whatever. And like I hate how brainwashed everybody on YouTube is, thinking like how much money people are making. Like maybe if people would like show you their paperwork, maybe then you'd be like, "Oh, okay." Like I just don't think you understand what's really going on in the universe. And it's frustrating because there's all these smokes and mirrors, and like part of me, like I can't help it, right? Like I want to smoke and mirrors too, like I like painting these little light pink, okay, like I like putting on vitamin E oil, castor oil, and like yeah, I did a little bit of this to make this go like that. I did a little brown under here, and then yeah, some Jeffrey, and that's it, nothing else. All that is just like oil on my face. And like yeah, I definitely love minerals. I love minerals. Oh, peridot is totally my official, like, what I would call Colorado stone. If you only knew all the lessons and things that I wish I would have captured back then, that, like, I'm having to bring you into real time. And it's frustrating because we're so behind. We're so behind. And frankly, there's so many that are disconnected and that just don't care, and they have so many excuses why they're not connecting with me, which represents them not connecting with themselves. You're just going, 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 going. You don't want to pay attention to yourself, your cells, your feelings, your embodiment. How depressing. No wonder why you're miserable. Like, you're not doing what your soul chose to come here and do, and you're brainwashed by the manipulation that has been going on that you've been fronting and not wanting to see. The truth is, where you want to be is exactly where you want to be. You've chosen to learn all this knowledge. You've chosen to be with the people that you're around. You've chosen the job. You've chosen your worth. You've chosen everything. Every story that you told yourself, you've chosen to believe and submit to. You don't have to believe everything that comes into your head. You have to recognize that there's like frequencies that are being put out to us on purpose. So we have to deny those and counter those narratives with our own personal narrative. Like when you have like an inner thought that says like something bad to you, like you should take yourself out or you don't deserve to be here or whatever, right? Like you need to like reinvent yourself. Like be like, all right, hey, what's up? I'm Trina. Like, what did you just say? Like, I don't think so, bro. You like talk to that inner voice and put it in its place and show them that you're in control of your cells, your mind, your body, instead of just assuming the position, you know, and getting and don't even feel good type. So you need to put your energy, your attention, where your energy goes. Like I'm just like I'm kind of fried. I've like really overspent myself. I've gave a lot of my personal energy away to people today, especially like those that I love and care about. And like this is where like Uncle Frank would be like, "Don't cry to me after you let everybody feasted on your energy." You know? If you only knew. And like this isn't the first time. Like I'm still learning these same lessons over and over again. Oh, mer, purr. Sarah. Mm. 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 Sarah, stop it. I miss you. I love you so much. You're just like such a like amazing soul and reflection of myself that I can't help but be like, oh, mi amorcito. I almost said misito, but same thing, right? You're okay with that both ways, right? I love you. Whoa. It's both. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Calais. Yeah, I know you're here, you energy vampire. I know. We got a lot of work to do on you, and I thought real live time would be good to serve up with you if you could be present with me. I know that you overwork yourself and you overstrain yourself, Mr. Michael. I'm supposed to remind you that you picked your name. You picked your name to remind yourself why you're here, what you came here to do, where you came from, and who you are. Where you're from. Like, might need to write those down so I can have more better visual, you know. I'm kind of like autistic and a hands-on and visual person. And yeah. Sarah, I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're here. You're like one of my greatest friends and companions in the entire world. And I'm like so apologetic that I don't have enough footage with you, if you ask me the truth, to be honest. Like, I know, like, did you know you were one of the first girls that I ever, like, super really vibed with when I produced? Like, you know me, I love to, like basically turn girls into models, right? Or, like, I like chicks, or, like, whatever you want to say, right? Like, I'm a people grower. Like, I like that from Francis. I'm a people grower from Fuller Life, okay? That's stolen from Fuller Life. Quote. People grower. I love, and I think she got that from Gary from Young Living. I'm not sure. But yeah, I love to like invest my energy and watch people's success. Like that's my Arcturian energy. I was so obsessed with social media marketing. Like when I was a child, I was so brainwashed. I was like, there is no way Trina is not going to get famous. You know, if I just have enough money to invest in marketing, and if I build my image the right way, and this story and that, and then if I just do this and then marketing and then hashtags and yeah. And like it's true. In some levels it's true. You can see like where my energies is paid off, but in other levels I feel like I've just completely wasted my life away. It's like like my poor child. God, like I've spent like oh god, since second grade on the internet. I remember being in second grade and going to the back of the classroom and just like being naughty, looking up information that I probably shouldn't in the back of the classroom just because there was a computer there. And like, yes, if I'm being honest, like I was fascinated by like magic. Like, of course, what little girl wasn't taught as a kid, like, oh my god, magic! Yeah, like, I want the magician! How fucking stereotypical, and I dated, like, 3 magicians, literally, and I'm a mermaid. How funny and stereotypical now that I, like, paint the story out loud for myself, okay? Like, let me tear myself apart there. Like, oh my god. But seriously, though, like, that was it, and I loved flowers and candles and, like, colors, and just, like, yeah, that was just, like, a whole nother language to me as I was speaking to you, the Arcturian energy. I've shared openly my Akashic record readings, so if like anybody actually wanted to know WTF who TCM is, like you can hear it out my mouth and out through like a couple other readings. You know, I've had readings and I don't mind publicizing that because as a matter of fact, like I would rather like call me JC, but like like that's my middle name, Christine, so I'm just like sharing, this is me, this is, you know, and like it sucks. Like, the reason why I do it is because it sucks that nobody shared with me, like, what has been shared with me, you know what I mean? Aside from, like, what has been shared with me, which is what I have to, like, give, that I have received, you know? I can only give what I've received, but there's so many people that are shady and two-faced and ignorant and in denial and, like, hurting themselves and other people mindlessly, like, not even caring. Do you know how many people are connecting to people that they don't even love? That they are just literally just with each other because of the Matrix, because they're afraid of being alone, or because they were taught this or that. Not that they actually have like this undying love and devotion that they really like with all of their everything, that they want to be with that person, like no matter what. Like to me, that is true love, and that nothing can change that nothing can shake the ground, and that like that being is me. Like we are right there, and then our children are like right there too on that same thing, and then to me my family is the same thing. Okay, and it's the same thing with taking care of plants to me and animals, and just like for anybody that doesn't understand that, I guess that's where politics gets involved, right? Like this is what makes me violent, that's what gets me like Dexter a little bit. But like there's also the JC and me, right? The Christine who's like, Trina, no, 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 no. Like, all these people who are evil, there is a way for them to, like, admit their sins or whatever, right? And transcend and learn and know better and not have to be stuck in conditioned response. However, since we are creatures of habit, one must admit what their conditioned responses, right? Like, I'm addicted to sugar or sexual release or taking baths or going running or telling people what to do or being in control or lying or cheating or sneaking things or making money or whatever your high out of life is that makes you happy, right? There's been this need for this release for so long, and so many of you refuse to open this portal, and you won't even breathe into this. Like when you feel these pains, like you just stuff them down and you ignore them and you act like they aren't there, and like you distract yourself and like focus on the next thing. And then like, you think the body ever forgets? No. All your traumas, all your memories, everything is locked in there, stuck. Because of you, your choice. It's your choice to focus on you. You're the only person who can. You're wanting everyone else to take care of your cells, your feelings, your beings, your stuff. But like, what's the one thing that you own that like you're taught nothing about, right? It's your body. It's the only thing that you have full, that is your constant variable. Your house can burn down, your entire stuff can go away, your animals can abandon you, your family, everything can be destroyed, the earth can be destroyed. What do you have? Okay, so, excuse me, my heart is just like taken away, and like all this, yo, I have it for you, I have it. However, I'm not gonna lie, I need to use El Baño. Like, here, let me share with you, like, this pretty view of my, my windowsill here, right? I've been messing with Feng Shui, and that's kind of like my favorite thing. I would love to be hired to come to your house and just turn your house into, like, a little touch of Trina, you know? Like, pay for my flight and, like, buy all the materials to turn your house into the coolness. Oh, and I'm really good at saving money. Like, I love to go to thrift stores and, like, yeah, we can co-create. Like, I love to do that. So I'm going to go to El Baño and, BRB. Enjoy the sounds of the birds. Oh, George. Precious. Alright then. Un momente, mi amor. One more moment to myself. We all have our addictions to things that make us feel good. My ancestral thing has definitely been smoking. A lot of people in my family on both sides suffer from cancer. I too struggle with the experience of relieving myself of my personal grief within me that brings me great suffering, which pushes me to smoke like almost all plant matter, to be honest. I have totally played with multiple dried leaves of like all kinds of different plant specimens, and I know that's not really what's best, but I mean, what's the difference of us eating plants and changing our chemistry that way? I mean, I also can't lie though, I do also, like, health wise, I believe all level of smoking or inhaling anything that isn't, I mean, this is complicated actually, okay, because I mean, we distill oils and like we can kind of inhale plants that way. So I imagine smoking was the original way of inhaling certain herbs. Like, I'm imagining now, what if someone smoked eucalyptus? Like, do not try that at home. You know, I'm not pushing that, although I do have the personal curiosity myself. Oh, yes. Yes. Alright, un momente. Un momente, un momente, and then I will read you something very magical. One moment. Alright. I also still have an agenda to to tune my harp. Hey, I know toxic. I know that because of the phenols. Thank you for publicizing that. Yes. I was more so communicating the possible experience of one smoking eucalyptus when one had particularly like if one was sick. I know that's like sounds like hypocritical, but like these plants, certain plants are meant to target that stuff, like peppermint. So I would certainly be curious. So, all right, so I've been playing this game where I randomly open a book, right? I've been playing with this Bapaji book. I love him so much. And the line that I just fell upon with my eyes this moment, or should I say like 4 or 5 moments ago. Thus, that person observing silence is like the shepherd who, in his attempt to save one sheep, allows the wolf to get the rest of the flock. Behavior can be controlled only if thought is controlled. For this reason, great people have suggested that if one wishes to practice silence in the best way, he should choose to remain in seclusion. Seclusion. Excuse me. Where are we? Blah, 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 blah. Practice silence best. He should choose to remain in seclusion. Seclusion can be observed only if the practitioner decreases his public activities. How ironic, like all the timing of all this, right? Right. Indeed, the tapas of speech is as necessary as it is difficult. No matter what stage a sadhak has accomplished, he must use discrimination in practicing the tapas of speech. The verse cited earlier ended with a reference. Oh man. To Swadhyaya, to study and recite the Vedic scriptures, and Abhasya, to study the names of the Lord. Now I'll explore the tapas of the mind. I really like this quote too. Serenity of the mind, gentleness, silence, self-restraint, and purity of mind. That is called the tapas of the mind. Yeah, I'm kind of like addicted to this book. It's been quite a magical process. I was tempted to reread out aloud something else that I found today, but since I didn't highlight it or anything yet, I'm like, I don't even know where it is. So, let me see what you're saying, Sarah. Un momento. QHHT. Ha, Sarah. Okay, so I told you, like, things are kind of messy. There's some videos that probably should be on that playlist that probably aren't there. Man. Like, why you gotta point that out? I definitely gotta play with that, I guess. It's a job. Brand developer. I'm definitely an inventor. I'm definitely Arcturian AF. Aww. I see what you're saying. Tickles the soul. Sarah, your commentary, yes. Yes. Man. Oh no. Yeah. Like, some of my favorite pages have basically fallen out of this book. Good day. Welcome those of you who are just joining us. So much intricate detail shared in this experience. I hope all of you will have the chance to experience all that I have shared. Definitely have been procrastinating this job. The job of tuning my own instrument. Sarah. Yeah. You're so funny. Stop it. Behind the scenes with Sarah. For those that haven't seen. Yes. That's actually like one of the first videos I ever did with my mom ever. And it was interesting to hash those things out. And I totally, as mentioned before, received a phone call in the middle of that. So, like, some things are kind of like, I feel like in some levels we could say, like, hung up. Because, like, I'm like, not sure if. I've been attempting to, like, you know, strengthen that relationship as much as possible. Because I also recognize, like, a lot of it has to do with, like, my own self-rejection or, like, personal judgment or, like, things like that. Still processing all the information and painting language too, you know? Alright. Yeah. Your mother. Sir. Yes. So, like, I've been procrastinating this, but let me see. Okay. Alright, I got my notes down, so now I just need my tuner because I can't tune by ear yet. See, this is why, like, AI kind of blows. Did you know AI blows? Hey. AI. I love AI. AI? Alright. Or you know what? Let's put it back here. Here goes the job. Oh, you know what? Can't do this unless you have a tool. And now I'm like starting to question where my tool is. Dang. Let me turn off my tuner for now. Might want to get a backup one of those. Actually, you know what? Let me just see what I got right now. And then like I can play. Let's see what's up. See, this is D sharp, and it's supposed to be F. It's more like high E. Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. Alright, D sharp. Let's try to turn this up and see what happens. Alright, let me see. Sometimes just turning these up a little bit will fix them, but not always. I'm cheat tuning. Yeah, this is supposed to be C and it's A. That's how off that is. Super off. Let's see. Got a high B now. That's a little bit of a high C. Mixed feelings. I still find love in like the beauty of the like metaphor of playing a out of tune harp or like any kind of out of tune instrument. For me, I don't know, I feel like call me a weirdo, but I call that art. Like finding your own rhythm like with something that's kind of out of tune. A lot of times I just went based on sound. Like, I know. Let me see. I don't know. I need like a stand. I'm sure I have one somewhere. Somewhere, right? Like too much work. Nah. Yeah, this thing is like so wacky. I'm sorry. I can't. Sometimes I can. Sometimes they're not that bad. But this one's like super duper bad. It's gonna take mad concentration and also an additional tool to follow through. Any other additional conversations or offerings or I know. God, thank you, Sarah. Like that's what I need. I need to be I'm like You would slightly be the bully sister sometimes. You know that? That tough love. You're like me. You're me to me. Not mean to me. You are me. Like the way that I am, my tough love. Like about the Etsy thing, like yeah, you're right. I've been slacking. You're right. You're right. Okay. 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 uh I accept this. I accept this. I love it. I do. I need it. I do. I do. I've been slacking. You're right. You're right. I have like a million excuses. There's yackers and there's doers. We could just say, let's just talk about it. But like, I'm like, I'll show you. uh, it's totally. You're right. You're right. I don't know. It's like a mental thing. It's totally been like a mental thing. It's like in your head. It's like, oh man, I gotta turn on the computer. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. But really, that's just like a. I'll admit, it's a false narrative. But like, I can't deny the truth is of like, even when you participate in AI, it's still like a job. Like you put in so much work, so much energy, and still like it can go completely neglected and like just like erased or just like it's for nothing. Everything's for nothing. You know what I mean? And like it also trolls on people. It like messes with people's identity. It makes them like also see certain new data. So like they're kind of controlled, like the kind of stimuli that they see. I know. I literally just bit my cheek, dude. I could you not. Err. Err. I clench my jaw like a lot. And I guess it can be like Trina struggles to relax. Because she has so much energy. So it's important to be doing like vigorous activity. Thank you for the 4 thumbs up. Thank you for being subscribed. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Love, love, love. Highest frequencies. Yes. It's not always easy to return here, but returning here is like one of the most best and comfortable places. But most of the time, we were holding so tightly onto things. It was difficult to be here because we try to bring other things here that turn that place that's there no longer there anymore. It's somewhere that we fear we no longer want to go. A great example of this is me enjoying to make art and paint and draw and sing. To make art and paint and draw and sing and dance. And then like me putting, sometimes I call it a gauge on it or a filter, right? I turn it down and I don't express or I don't flow. And therefore all that stagnant energy is just like bottled in and kind of becomes like almost decompressed, right? And kind of makes you depressed because like you had all this inaction and all this inability to respond, or like an ability to respond but you didn't. A great example of that is also where I'm over here, I'm hurting animals and people and babies or something and you do nothing about it. Like you're just as bad as doing it with me. I love to use that as an example and paint me black like that so you can kind of see, or should I say, like, use the BS color painting, okay? Focus more on the essence here of just, like, how you're looking at things, the lenses of which you're looking at things. Like, for example, let's say there's a water bottle. And I had a traumatic experience with the water bottle where one time this girl, she poured water straight up all over my head. And so now every time when I see a water bottle, it makes me think, oh my God, water, right? So it's like I can choose to look at water as like that story every single time. Or I can look at it as the first time I've ever looked at a bottle of water and honestly imagine how many times, like maybe thousands of times, we've come across this bottle of water. And still, we paint this picture. I also can't help but like hear Amrit Desai in my head, or like or should I say Bapa G,
or Swami, excuse me. There's so many different names. It's just all the expressions of I am, not me. It's hard to explain. Um, I like to think of it as I hear paper flowers, like how they have no fragrance. You have to experience them. They're just as like it's like the essence of that of how words and paint pictures. And I also hear Uncle Frank in his words saying, I just turn the lights on. Like, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't know anything except for what he's lived through and he's experienced. I cannot wait to give you guys the interview with Uncle Frank. Uncle Frank, Uncle Frank, Uncle Frank. Like, I'm popping. I'm popping pretty hard for the stories that I've already heard, you know, and I'm just like beyond blessed to have like the know of this person. And oh man, all the other people who have just like shared with me their experiences that have painted like different pictures of experiences that I've never would have looked at things in that spectrum had you have not pointed them out. We could also mention rose-colored glasses, right? When we're madly in love with somebody and we want to look at somebody in this painted way, like, man, I could really love them. I could. Tell yourself a story, right? Or because of this, or they have this, or this, or this. Fake. It's where the heart's will is. It's the heart's will is like to me, like what I was reading earlier is like the prana. The breath, what is like automatic that you just can't help it, that you just like, oh, that's where you are. Like it's the same thing to me. Like all the people who say they are my friends or like they're my lovers, my companions, my people, like I call it and I was taught it showing up. Okay? It's like where your presence is it's so complicated. And there's so many shadows of this too, right? Because you have people who are draining your energy and like using you, and then part of you where you feel like you're being used because you don't know your own personal boundaries, which is self-love and also all self-reflection. And there's also even deeper depths of just like how we all believe we are different. Okay? I mean, I understand there is so much truth in that, though at the same time, I am you. It's so complicated. But it's not really that complicated. For me, I think of quantum physics, it's like where some things are so simplified, but yet like it's like I can't even explain it. It's like it's dumbed down. I like to use make peace as an example. Like some people, right, try to play it off like you don't know what it means to make peace, right? You try to act like that. It's a false narrative. It's something that's so simple, yet like conscious awareness. And some people have a choice to not become aware of certain things and they choose to turn the knob down, right? Not to hear those things, to ignore and neglect and cast shade, negligence, different colors. This also reminds me of the other thing I wanted to talk about, right? Like we can mention Dragon Ball Z or excuse me, I've never watched the show, I'll admit that, and don't call me a promoter or anything, but I just learned this from someone who was Arcturian who also shared additional information with me. And their beautiful picture that they painted for me was also the Green Lantern, how it represents all different emotions. And then I started thinking about energy vampires and how they would do like mass rituals where they got everybody together to feel the same emotion at the same time so they could feast upon that energy, that fear at the certain moon or this type of like specimen or family lineage. It goes so deep. It's 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 quite insane, and like you were only shown the tip of the iceberg and only few people really wanted to go that deep because they were too busy being entertained or stuck in the illusion. Whatever made them comfortable that felt safe to them and painted a picture of whatever brought them joy or like that they painted that they thought would bring them joy. It can be a traumatic experience when one finally steps into full awareness of one's path and one's truth, and where one has denied oneself the self, and they had to step into their own power and their own truth, face their own reflection, know what they're here to do. It can be painful because you can feel the hurt places where you didn't show up where you're supposed to, where you didn't take courage, or you didn't believe in yourself, or you didn't nurture yourself with sleep or true friends or truth.
or some rest, or peace, whatever little thing that is your nurturing to your soul. Because so many people were just like this all the time, right? That bird box. I love to use that as examples because for me, the way me and my poppy, my father, have spoken about is like, yeah, if people could take the blind off, they just wouldn't want to be here anymore because they would just see all the darkness in the world. And frankly, when I tune my harp, my plan is to blindfold myself and to play the harp blindly and to do all feeling and really connecting to the sound. And honestly, yeah, as you notice, it doesn't really have to be in tune for me. I can attempt to play, but like I get irritated, especially when I feel like I'm creating bad noise or bad rhythm or bad frequencies. Let that be the next thing that I channel out loud, okay, in real time for those of you that have the patience and decency to be here with me as I channel this information to you, this light, this frequency, whatever you call it. My words. I am that I am. It's about the music. And I'm not sure if I covered this already in one of the ones that are already coming, but I'd rather have it now. It's kind of like locked into my subconscious mind how like trolled my mind is, okay? Or brainwash, MK Ultra, um, Clockwork Orange. There's many names. It's where they played certain sounds, okay? Like major or minor key. And some keys have frequencies that just make you feel bad or sad or make you feel or think or go to some type of level inside yourself, right? Your cells, they vibrate a certain way. And then they say certain words with certain things, right? And like, I like to also use like violent words, right? There's a lot of violent words that represents destroying and creating harm. And these frequencies are thrown at us just in our subconscious. And what do you think is going to make us feel? How do you think we're going to go? What do you think we're going to end up doing? You know, how do you think our insides are going to feel when we surround ourselves with that pollution? We're not, as Uncle Frank talks about, you know, you got to be selective who you let come inside your mind, who you what you allowed yourself to hear, what you allowed yourself in your presence, you know, what you allowed to go down without opposition. Like, I'm sure you imagine so many things, or not just imagine, I think that you've witnessed people talk and do things that are just totally, you could say, against God or against the greater good of all life, all living things that are here on this planet, including Pachamama, right? All spirit, all breath, all that. For me, it's just like a huge principle, and I just feel extremely disappointed. And like, of course, like a great lack of focus of just like the entire collective not really seeing the truth, like getting so brainwashed by thinking that something physical, like this makes me bring back, like, I can't not read this thing in this thing. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up, even though I didn't underline it, I will find it. I'm determined. Never give up. Fight with all my might to go back home, right? Oh my god, I just came across a Unix script. I'm gonna have to read that. I'm in this like automatic yoga pose that's just totally destroying me right now. It's something so simple, but my knees, oh god. Yeah, because my needs aren't being met, right? My knees. I think I know it all, but really, like, I force myself too much. Oh man, I'm sorry, I can't not read this part too. Quote, although an angry person practicing silence cannot verbally abuse anyone, the anger can still be reflected in his eyes. Then the eyes speak the abusive words, which are not worth expressing with the tongue. Yet, this does not end the matter. If the other person reacts to this anger by also expressing anger, then the person practicing silence could, in turn, react by physically assaulting the other person. Thus, that person observing silence is like the shepherd who, in his attempt to save one sheep, allows the wolf to get the rest of the flock. This again. Ouch. Ouch. How about above it? The fangs of a poisonous snake are dangerous. Thus, we try to catch his neck rather than his mouth with a forked stick. Because once we pin his neck, his fangs become useless. I'm trying to find something else, though, but of course. The Father, the Spirit, right, has insisted for me to see that. I'm trying to find this one thing that really got me. Ha! I found him. I found them. Page 117. 789. Okay. I posted this today on Instagram, of course. Like, this is just heaven for me. When a seeker's mind dwells on a sense object, attachment to it is produced. From attachment springs passion, a story, a picture, a love, and art. Excuse me, I'm adding that. And from passion springs anger, right? There's anger. I feel like there's anger because I don't understand it. I'm just like, what is it? How can I be it? Or what is all these great things? But like, it's supposed to be all different expressions of I am, right? And then they go on. For me, this is like a Star Wars thing for me. Like, I know there's like a Star Wars quote, like something like that about from fear. Okay. It says, from anger arises bewilderment, and from bewilderment, loss of memory. And from loss of memory, destruction of intelligence. And from destruction of intelligence, he perishes. Ah! Like, I love ancient scriptures. Like, you gotta like this book. I feel so bad, but I'm so grateful to even have these pages, because you know all the Kindle it means, the burning of the books, right? But God, my poor book, I just right, Bapuji. Rum 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 rum. My heart hurts because I've like had all this silence for like all these years, all this stagnant energy in my chest, in my throat, in the generational curses that have been bestowed upon all of us, the unspoken, the contracts, right? It's a lot. Would you like some peaceful plants? I love me some plants. And some shiny lights. And yeah. Guam gonna pate nama nama. Guam gonna pate nama nama. Japa. I don't even know what Japa is. I'm like, does anybody like? I'm so heartbroken from the lack of like minds. Okay, that's why I'm depressed about like this. My Bapaji, 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 Bapaji. I'm just in love with the word Bapaji, and I love this man because his words are just like so poetic to my soul. I'm just like, when was your birthday? A bath with cold water quiets the restless mind. Thus, bathing in cold water has always been highly recommended in a Sanatan Dharma. During cold weather, however, one may find it difficult to bathe 3 times a day. I will now share with you an episode from my childhood on the subject. Anecdote, my cold bath. Yeah, so I like, like, please look up this person. Man, I'm like, they don't even make books like this anymore. It feels like, you know, like a lot of these like teachings are just gone, and I'm just trying to learn them so I can just like share them through like being them and like holding space for them, for like those that need them. A lot of these pages I've already read before, and because I've been cheating, I should probably just focus and just finish the book page by page, right? But like, that doesn't sound like a very Trina thing to do. Like, Trina likes multiple stimuli. There you go. Yeah, fear leads to suffering. That's the Yoda quote. Yes, the light has already won. You have to surrender and know that you are not your ego or the stories. You have to know what's meant for you shall never pass you, and that you have already won, and you have to like trust that you're going home instead of trapping your soul here. Oh man, I need to do some more homework on the moon apparently. So anybody that's gotten into any moon information, especially I would call classified, or yeah, like I would definitely like I guess I would love to interview certain people, right? Like I would love to interview Joe Rogan, like please teach me about what you know about the moon. Like I would love to talk about the moon. I would love to talk about a couple different subjects where I just want to hear somebody that knows more than me that can actually like, you know, be with me like on that level, because I have so many questions. I know so much truth can be like coming up if like, you know, if the space was held. Of course the pink moon is coming. That explains all the pink energy going on right now. Interesting, interesting. I was like wondering, I was like, Trina's more girly than like ever. So like WTF, like is this finally embracing the feminine, or like is this what's happening? I feel very it's a particular book that I read that like I don't want to name. What I think it's Twin Witches or something like that. So as you can see, I'm like multiple doors deep in multiple studies and experiences. Yoga has been like my favorite thing. And yeah, I use my bed, even though you probably shouldn't, right? But like still, I like to do things like that, and like especially this one. Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Let me try to fix it. Okay, I'm trying. It's like all, there you go. This is really good for my lower back. Come on. Oh yeah, I'm obsessed with this shirt, by the way. I try to wear it as often as possible. My back is like killing me. I'm like wanting to go. A lot of yin yoga going on, a lot of holding postures for long times. Definitely a lot of karma yoga. Bunch of karma yoga. Hey, thanks for the 6 thumbs up. You're funny. Yeah, yoga is life, yo. Yoga is life. I just love yoga. Like, it just feels so good, and I just, like, automatically go into postures. Just like my guru says. Okay. I've read his books, and, like, I can't stop. I'm just, like, I'm upset. I'm like, I need to go there. I need to go there. I need to finish my studies. What am I thinking? I'm like, wait a minute. I just realized I was breaking my own rule. You know what Trina's rule is? Trina's rule is that you never wait for someone else's permission for anything, that the soul's desire really is right there. Okay? Like, I'm huge against, like, denying love for the self in that manner. I've learned that lesson harshly too many times. So, in other words, yeah, don't wait for someone else to give you permission, right? That's one of the first lessons that was taught to me. Is give yourself permission. That was taught to me by somebody else. Excuse me. My feet and everything is tingling right now. Tingling so bad. Ouch. It's also like doing exactly what it needs to. I also like to do things like, yeah, where you lift. Ouch. Definitely gonna have to put this down to do my full posture. One moment. Ouch. Like being a pro wrestler, or just like an action activist, or an action person, or like getting in car accidents. I mean, there's probably a million reasons we can say why my back is totally right. But yeah, yoga is like the one thing that's really like stretched things out and really helps. I can feel all the blood flow. I can feel everything, being such a sensitive and in touch with my body as well. Look at this guy. I can't help but share this guy. This guy's like my favorite guy in the world. Oh, perfect. I'm like, focus so I can see his pretty face. Like useless AI. Useless. The guy's precious. Precious. I bet, Michael, I bet.
Uh, my soul is reserved for my one true love. I've known this since I was a child. I'm patiently waiting. Unfortunately, I made some mistakes along the way until accepting that realization, and still I remain present now. Aw, you're so cute. That was so cute. Thank Mercury. She said thank Mercury. Do you know what that means? Like, Mercury is like communications. Oh, I'm being tempted to go back. Oh, there we go. Alright, now I gotta switch positions. Classic. Part of me is fried and totally enjoying the rainy day and opportunity to produce and communicate. And another part of me is like, my soul's hungry to like work. Like, I want to do readings or like maybe some Reiki or I don't know, some healing music or oh man, I hear remote viewing. Bunch of things like that. There's all kinds of different sessions people need. I do all kinds of different services. Unfortunately, some people don't really know always why they're drawn to my energy. They can just feel it, and like sometimes it kind of freaks them out. Yet still, here I am. Thank you for allowing me to share with you what I have received. I choose to use my gifts to be of service. However, like in the material world, it's become difficult to create price tags for these spiritual gifts, right? To be able to like communicate and understand people and help people get to their subconscious and heal. Yet it also gets frustrating because people like kind of have like a lot of expectations of you. People don't understand that like there's no healers. You are the healer. That's the healer's contract. You have to understand that it's like you and your connection to source and like just that using the right medicines and like I would say plant medicines, right? Like some people need certain foods to eat. Yet you're so out of touch with nature and conditioned by the grocery store. You just have so it's that's also that mind control thing. You're conditioned, right? If you had to go kill an animal right now, you would do it. In fact, there's not even cows walking around. Like the times have changed. There's like not enough resources, right? People have like hurt all the animals and abused them just because like use them. Like a life is worth a price and like a very cheap price, as you may have seen at the grocery store. So it's kind of sad. What makes you think humans are any different? That's what they're doing with stem cells. The company Senomyx, Senomyx. You know, I'll never stop about that. The poor children, right? Embryonic kidney cells. Yeah, we could talk about the yogurt stuff too. I can't lie, I'm addicted to yogurt too, of course. I'm addicted to all the things that they put in the foods, and then sometimes I just get mad. Because I just want to get to the bottom nutrients that I actually need. No, I don't. Will you please teach me? Why do I want my yogurts? I mean, I think I know why, because the bifido, right? They put those bacteria in it. Oh, sir, I have to profit. I have to profit. I need to zen all of that. All of that. Oh. Mm. Ah. Mm. Shh. Don't talk about that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Because I love cheese and I have dairy addictions too, and I know that means stuff in traditional Chinese medicine. You know what? Sarah, I've asked you like 100,000 times. Like you're Arcturian. You're the only person that's gonna get this job done for me. Like I know you can do it. I'm telling you. I will put you on blast, right? You'll be the first girl I do this with. Like I need or like there has or like eat like come on like homework slaves, like there has to be options here, okay? All I'm saying is I'm trying to see with my middle eye. What I'm trying to do is get two videos of two people together or like even like multiples
okay? But I want to be able to save it. Like, I have to be able to save it. Like, I heard rumors that I could use Facebook Live. Eh, eh, Facebook isn't like my favorite interface, as a matter of fact, so I wish that I had like another way or something. Or like, oh, what if we did a screen record on the iPhone? Is that a thing? Is that possible? I just thought of that. There's a way to record my screen. I saw like someone who worked for Apple who was like a sub who taught me and showed me that at one time. God, that was like one of the most fun times ever. I need to like make more of those experiences happen for sure. That was so freaking awesome. Oh, that was so awesome. I wish I recorded all of that. That was like, you just can't make those stories up, man. let the actions speak for themselves, and you say what happened and how I handled things. Okay, that's so funny. Oh man. uh, uh, ooh, yeah, yes. I heard about that too. I heard about IG Live, but then isn't it broken up into sections? Like, you know what? You want to know the truth? You want to know the truth is, Sarah? The truth is, like, we're not gonna know unless we experience. So if you want, like, like, I'm like, be my guinea, right? Be my guinea pig. We can go play on Skype. We'll try Skype and try to figure out how to do there. We could do Facebook, Instagram Live. God, I'm like, is there any more? Like, what other options is there to try to record like two long distance people talking to each other, having a cool conversation? Like, that's all I'm trying to do. My soul is hungry for that. Hey, 7 thumbs up. Thank you. Namaste. Yes, yes, yes. Oh man, I'm totally. Why did I have to say namaste? As soon as I said namaste, all I could think about was tandoori. Oh my god, I'm so addicted to tandoori. That's all I want to eat all of the time. Just always, just always. Like, I would pay somebody to teach me, like, in person. Like, if I could figure out a way to make this, like, officially. Like, I need to have, like, I've tried it in so many different ways, and every single time I've made it is just horrible. It's just not the same. And, like, my soul needs this food, like, all the time, every day. No kidding. Like, not kidding. And halwa? Oh, I need a halwa recipe. Like, I would cry. I would cry with joy for those as gifts to me to learn and have those knows and knowledge. Like, oh, my soul. And, like, my respiratory. Like, I would love that right now. Like, I am so tempted. You buy me tandoori. $50. I'm so addicted. See, this is also a symbolism of I would call that brahmacharya, dude. One of the spiritual practices of yoga, like practicing that self-discipline, like having this desire and ability to go buy the food, but also like not doing it. Okay? Oh, and then like part of being addicted to the 3D is the food, right? Because we become conditioned and then like the taste buds and certain things. I'm like, if that's true, why wouldn't you want to invest in me and pay for my time instead of me being here for free and you just using me and absorbing all my energy, all my no, and not finding any worth in me and not like paying it forward with some type of investment so that I wouldn't feel so guilty about going to eat, eh? Hey. I also need to buy kitty litter, but that's another job. Ah. Part of me is like so grouchy because I have like so many different ways I can show up and serve, and like I guess the autistic in me is really struggling to paint language to like, what do I do? Who am I? Like, I don't like the judgments that people think that I am and think that I've done when I haven't done those things, you know? And I don't feel like I should like have to defend myself and be like, I didn't do that. Like, as if you'd believe me anyway, right? Like, everybody lies in this age. No, everyone lies to themselves, and I'm not a liar. My name means pure. And like middle name Christ, right? I'm all about, healing and purifying. I learned a lot of stuff the hard way, and I'm going to just shed light on that as much as possible, since I unfortunately have paid that price to know, and so I've given what I've known. And like, yeah, if you found richness, or like, man, like something really valuable that you think pays off, like that's worth a price, like, yeah, like feel free to send like something. More than just a prayer, you know what I mean? I mean, that counts too. At the same time, this like we live in this three-dimensional world where our souls chose to come here and leave all these astral lights and become the light in the physical being that we are in this world, this far away from the sun, on that much heat, and eat these things, and participate in this whole game, if you will, of multiple realities. Parallel realities. I think that like these things really frighten people, so people don't like really like to dig that deep into them, because they're like kind of like black holes that kind of just completely absorb your soul, and like you kind of just feel extremely uncomfortable and you don't want to think about. Yet at the same time, like any human who's like human, right? Any animal that has the conscious ability of spirit to go there will explore. And that's like the biggest thing about these things. Like, you're so distracted by what they wanted you to focus on, all these stupid little dumb things like colors or whatever little thing that you're brainwashed and stuck on, whatever narrative or picture or story or what gimmick, right? Whatever you're marked for. Instead of you focusing on like all the ability to create and like observe. So conditioned, and it's frustrating because it's like they stripped all of mankind from their superpowers, their intelligence, their ability to create, their ability to communicate, their ability to do motor skills, their ability to connect to the earth, their ability to have love or to connect. Like, everyone's in this disharmonic state, and there's like it's like done intentionally. Like, there's electromagnetic frequencies that you can like point electro lasers or whatever at things and like measure the vibe. You can measure the amount of particles that are inside your water, and you want to just like completely ignore and neglect all these things. I think it's called ppms. I need to do an interview with my acupuncturist, you guys. I guess I can do real-time in-person things. I guess I can go on a drive around the country. However, it'd be nice if like, yeah, that's no way to pay me back. That has nothing to do with money, right? That's a knowledge that's priceless. I don't know what this person was saying, but it's nice that they were put in their place, and that there's people leaving commentary while I'm channeling all this different stuff. I'm Humphrey. I have groceries on being naughty. Yeah, you buy me. Hey. Actually, man, Sarah, you're teaching me a lesson. I got a job to do. Oh man, I feel you. Yeah, you already know. I read your comment now. Yeah, I know. I need to buy that. I don't know if I really want that anymore. I thought about changing my name or doing both. I love, man, I'm just a nerd. I need to, like, figure things out, okay? Let's eat. What time is it? It's 8. It's, like, right before they close. I could call in an order and get it to go. I could. But it's totally gonna take me, like, 30 minutes to get out there. Or I could be patient and wait for buffet tomorrow. This is like that spoiled brat animal in you, right? Versus like the light, the consciousness, the breath, versus the animal instinct that says, body says now. But also there's something where both of these are true, and like where we need to like just be and feel and experience instead of resisting the process. You know what I mean? A lot of times I feel guilty like buying food, especially like if I'm going out to eat, right? I'm like, I don't know. Just, I'm a mark, or like whatever you want to call me. I'm just like wise. Yeah. Yeah. You should go deeper into that place, Onyx. There's a reason why that's happening. You might want to tune in and close all the books, close all the stimuli. That's what pratyahara is. Everyone is so stuck in like non-pratyahara, like they're in their senses. Pratyahara is withdrawal of the senses. That means like not thinking, not breathing, not feeling, not doing, not seeing, right? You're not hearing. Like, you attempt to really go within and really feel everything and see with your mind's eye and go within as deep as you can. And then that anything on the external just allows you to pull you in deeper. And like you have to talk to yourself this way and go in there into those places, and all this information and data can be revealed as you give yourself permission to process that stuff. But what's going on is like nobody cares. Everyone's heart is disconnected. Nobody really loves. No one's really showing up. That's like what I'm getting pissed off about. Like, I guess that's what caused me to also make this live. Like, I'm really annoyed that no one's showing up. Like, I'm looking for Team True to Mason as stated before. Like, I don't know how many times I gotta state this. It has nothing to do with money. Like, I mean, money totally does help. I mean, like, obviously that contributes to the overall picture that we all are supposed to have the same common goal. That's what I'm looking for, to kind of, like, find a network of people that have the same common goal. Like, coming together in humanity, or, like, I don't know how to, like, I know it sounds, like, kind of hippie-ish, and I'm not really sure how to paint language to that. I'm pretty exhausted. I've been, like, overworking, overgiving all of my energy all the time. And, yes, now I have to nourish my soul and take a bath and do all those things. I thought about doing live streams where I would have goals, right? That came to me today. Thank you. You know who you are, who have assisted me. I'm not sure how you actually feel about me stating your name all the time. You never actually talked to me about that. So, but, yeah, so we thought about, like, what if we took, like, the same concept that you do on, like, webcam stuff, right? What if we brought that to the real live stream on YouTube, like, and just did non-nude? Like, why does everything have to be about, like, hey, look at this part, or, like, hey, like, why is it so, like, primal? Like, why such separation? We don't have to be like that. Times have changed. So we can do the same thing. Like, $100, and I'll go stick my foot in Jello. Or something like that. I'm just being funny. Or, like, I had a funnier joke, like $5,000, and I'll sell you my DNA through my boogers. Like, a. Because it's, like, worth that much. As actually just went up, like, 100 grand. Maybe, no, 1 million. 1 million. How about freaking no? Change my mind. My DNA. Mine. Priceless. Seriously, people have no idea how that's actually going on, though. How there's, like, DNA swaps, like, going on, and, like, they're, like, kissing people mindlessly, and just not even caring what's going on. And they're lying, 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 and they're hiding. They're lying, and they're hiding. I'm so crushed and depressed. Because when they lie and they hide, they leave an expectation. But yet it also makes me feel bad because I let them lead me down the way that I wanted to believe it would go. And yet, the way that I think of it, what do the actions speak? Who's with me now? In person. Who lays the head beside me? Not even a George right now, right? The truth, it speaks many languages. And some people have, like, right, people could have excuses like, well, I live here, or I have money, or my mom, or hey, excuse, right? There's plenty of millions of great excuses, but the truth is your heart's desire isn't there. When your heart's desire isn't there, you won't be there. And you have to know that you are exactly where your heart's desire is. And somehow, some way, some of you have really shifted your heart's desire into somewhere of fear, where you were behaving ways that you didn't desire, and you weren't in joy. INJOY, you weren't in joy, and you weren't in joy, because you weren't really doing what you really wanted to do, because you were behaving from fear, from the fear of loss, from the fear of past repercussions. God, I feel like Romeo and Juliet, like, stabbing myself in the stomach and the heart. Like, I'm just, like, completely, like... Part of me is, like, disappointed, refreshed, rejuvenated, right? Like, having to accept all these truths, all these, like, hardships. And, like, there's many different languages to it, right? Like, one of my favorites is spinster. Lizzie Borden was a spinster. In some levels, I feel like also I am in joy, as stated before. This is the most joy that I gave myself permission to have at this time. This space, this place, everything. All the tools that I have, all that I've gathered. And frankly, now I'm looking to expand. God, if I had my way, I'd have a shop where I could just, I didn't have to worry about basically getting robbed and everything was safe, and I could just have full open space where everyone could play with my tools in my studio. Right? Share everything. But I also am learning the greatest, um, like, Sanskrit word of all is non-attachment. Like, where, like, you do not let your things own you. Don't let, like, some person own you and tell you that you are nothing without them. Don't do that. Don't kill your soul. Don't let the loss of, like, your home or of everything be what destroys you. Let it be what destroys you is that you give these pieces of yourself away. And that you give yourself permission to feel bad because you don't have. You need to understand that you always have you and that these attachments are not you. And it's just a false narrative and, like, a social construct that you've been taught that, like, your things mean that you're valuable. That has no value. No value. Other than sharing it, right? Sharing that wealth. And so you can say, here's all this space that I have and I have built. But what good is it? And then we're all taught to be away from one another. So what are we creating? Everyone's just numb to their creativity. You're just going to shut off. You're going to just shut off and not make yourself happy. You're not going to eat. You're not going to sleep. You're not going to take care of you. You're going to say that this thing, this physical thing, this person, place, or thing is more important than you. You're not going to go within. You're not going to create from within. You're not going to go to that little happy place in your heart and then go from that and make from that. You know what I mean? Like, you have this love for books. You're not going to take that love for books and go after that book and go get what you love. You're not going to color or whatever is your thing, you know? You got to give yourself permission, but you're doubting yourself and you're doubting the collective and you're judging everything. And it's creating the greatest resistance of all. More than anything. More than anything. It's tearing you apart from one another. And you didn't want to believe it. You didn't want to hear the truth. Yet you needed to. Because it's the only way that you could heal and grow is by shedding light, information, truth, aka all the same thing, Lucifer light. I hate the way all this magic and wool has been pulled over the eyes and how much disgrace. Oh. I just felt like the most intense radiance of joy in a weird way. Yes! I love my homeboys that love to chow down. I do. I just got, like, an invasion in my space, aka a text to me directly stating that eating is an option together soon. I love eating together. I'm a dog soul, as stated earlier in this case, if you've been watching the whole thing. What don't dogs like to do? Dogs don't like to eat alone. You want to look at the master, right? I'm just being funny. There's some truth in that, though, right? Or, like, some kind of funny symbolism. Yes. I am feeling rather creative, so I am gonna disconnect from here. I hope you've allowed all that I've been given. If you wish to invest, as stated before, you can send me an email. There's a link inside the video description that allows multiple portals for me to be received. I'll be making a new Instagram post that'll talk more about, like, better ways to send or help me out, right? Or if you just want to reach out to me personally and talk about what you have to offer and what you'd like to give, like, I'm not going to force you, you know what I mean? Only you know, like, what tools and resources you have, you know, and it's not about a price tag thing, it's other stuff, okay? Although price tags obviously do help so that we can grow and expand, you know, but that's obviously not why my soul showed up here, and unfortunately I'm having to relive and relearn that story, like, almost all the time. All the time I am, and it's kind of like a painful one, but I'm so grateful for those of you who have shared your financial resources with me, so that way I can, you know, buy kitty food and, like, yeah, harps, and just, like, you help me out so much, more than you ever know. And, like, this has just been the greatest business, owning my own business and being my own boss, and I just choose, and I will have my own business. I have my own business forever. I'm just, like, part of me is just completely done. I mean, I may totally, like, play along just to kind of, like, you know, keep myself busy, or, like, there's all kinds of different ways that I've allowed myself to receive, so I'm just, like, going this way and that way. I definitely feel, I feel strong magnetic pulses like pulling me certain ways. So allow me to disconnect. I love you very much. If you wish to have time with me or if you want more or anything, right? If you want to have one-on-one, like say, hey, I'll send a donation or whatever, and we'll have like this hour together on this day or this or that. Ah, yes, let love be the magic. Mm. Did you really? It's like why Hello the RBB just went like a whole nother level. Like that's like I just saw the hymn in there of like that. I'm supposed to talk about all these different shadows and all these really uncomfortable things. I have like all this responsibility. And like, yeah, who's gonna watch this super long video? There's just so much in here. And just I still have like pounds and pounds and pounds of more of light and data and breath and yeah, right? It's like all that different stuff. And plus like I'm tired. I am tired. I've overexerted myself. And like, yeah. So take care. Namaste.